Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and nerdy-ass Tumblr users transcend geography through the power of Skype to play Dungeons & Dragons, and critically fumble a lot. The gang has now reached Belarys by a rather interesting and unusual conveyance, which people apparently called a train. They're just sort of running with it, frankly. They're mostly mind blown by the sheer size of actual cities. Everybody except for Sigwald and Remi. Sigwald, who's been living there since he was a kid doing the boarding school thing. Remi was born there. So, it took the best part of a day, but when you eventually turned up, let me just bring you to the map.
Wow.
You're kind of there at the moment, but we'll scroll you up to most of the city.
Holy shit!
Wow. You have outdone yourself.
Okay, the map was randomly generated, but then I just marked out the places of interest and did the little
Still.
Who's it? Yeah, that one's going up on the site just so everybody knows. Some of those names will be familiar to some of you. Remi and Sigwald will know about all of those places for one reason or another, although I don't imagine that Sigwald has ever been into the Rosenbauer, given that that is the highly upmarket house of negotiable affection. But,
I am not sure what any of that meant.
Do you remember last session when we had, when Clarity rolled that natural 20?
Oh, it's the red light district.
Well, no, it's a brothel in.
Okay.
There's not really a red light district. There's just the occasional, because it's not illegal. It's just kind of,
sex workers establishment.
I like House of Negotiable Affection. I am a Terry Pratchett fan. Leave me alone.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it's called, Terry, in Discworld. Oh, okay.
That took you a minute, didn't it?
Read hardly any Discworld, so.
Anyway, point is that once you have got off the train, there's plenty of conveyance, and you will probably have to take one of some description or other, because that's to any of the places that Remi and Sigwald could think of to stop for however long you're going to be in town, which you need to talk to them about, because Clarity is busy still poking bits of the train at the moment, and making friends with a very large ginger cat. Hello, kitty! Pet. I was just sort of looking at her like, really, tiefling? Followed by head ram. Boonk! So, Clarity's having a wonderful time.
I'm just trailing behind Clarity.
Well, Clarity at the moment isn't going anywhere, because as we come back into the story, you're all sort of in the, for about lack of a better word, train yard, going, okay, that's a lot of city, now what do we do?
It's evening, isn't it?
Yeah,
probably not go straight to the governor's office, instead find a place to stay for the night.
That's...
Now the eternal question, where do we sleep?
All right. Remi?
We are going to... okay, what do my notes say? We are going to the Ravos Post.
Well, I did have two suggestions of my own.
Actually, you had two places that you thought of, but realized you probably couldn't afford for any distinct period of time. Was what I was getting at with that.
Oh,
These are
okay.
places you know of that have accommodation, but you wouldn't want to stay there.
Hmm. Actually, on second thought, no. Remi, take us away.
Remi will lead them through the city then.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to be a carriage because the Bravo's boast is way up here. And you
Oof.
started sort of, actually no, to be fair, it's not too bad. You sort of started around about there because you would have come up and down from the cliffs of Egref. So, but it's still you're tromping through Sigwald's stomping grounds actually to give you a basic overview of the map. Everything outside the colored sections is residential, basically. There's the simple houses, lots of different architectural styles, most of them you don't recognize.
So, yeah. So I'm pointing around. So I'm pointing around to the temple. So I'm just pointing around the study lock as we're going through. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the place where my classmate tried to make me eat slugs. It didn't work,
Yes,
or something.
the area outlined in
Story
purple
like that. I am not
is
good at it.
yeah, the Sigwald can explain that the city is divided up into locks.
Yes.
The purple is the study lock. That is
Yes.
that's the
Right
home
now
of
we're going to study lock. To the north lies the what's it? The higher sword lock. Remi, you probably know all about that. You can tell them more about it later. And right now we're heading into the market lock, where I actually think we should do some shopping around there after we see the governor. And far to the south is the temple lock. I don't think I haven't been there as often as I think I should have.
okay. For the
So
person who actually has all the in-depth notes to
okay,
flesh out
sorry.
what Sigwald has already started with. Um, the Higher Sword Lock is obviously one of the larger districts. It's the domain of the mercenaries and military that make up Crayumha. It's not really necessarily their home, although some do have permanent residences there, but it's where they come back to when they're not on campaign. There are a few inn shops and private residences, a couple of blacksmiths, but mostly it's the guilds hall, the chapter houses of the companies, and the proving grounds. Proving grounds are there. Large open area just near Skycliff, which is the ruling seat. It's basically a part never-ending tourney, part hiring fair. Hopeful recruits will come by just about every day, one or two at least, to prove their worth against whatever seasoned merc wants to test them. And company leaders stop by and they assess how people are doing and find fresh blood. Rumor has it that Governor Fortinbras himself watches, occasionally hand-picking the best of them for special companies and assignments. Which is probably why Remi is in the situation she is in right now. Yeah, Market Lock is the site of Belarys' famous open-air market. Its stalls sell goods from all over the world, no matter how far out of the general purview of the general public those parts of the world are. If you have coin in the open-air market, you can get nearly anything. The Market Lock also boasts a wide variety of shops, selling items both arcane and mundane, and inns and taverns catering to all tastes and budgets. The Study Lock is home of the Belarys Academy of the Arcane, Equitas' most notable magic university, as well as a number of smaller schools for younger pupils or more specialized teachings. Study Lock is almost entirely schools, libraries, private labs, and student accommodation. There is no trade in Study Lock. Artificers in Belarys have to submit their magical creations for peer review before being made available for sale. And while a few students and alchemists and artificers probably sell their experiments under the table, just the sort of, I brewed this wakefulness thing and I really don't have time to get it peer-reviewed right now here. Um, most people, they prefer that their magical gear has been subject to safety inspections before they buy it, so... and as for the reason there's no inns, there is a saying in Study Lock: never trust a body what throws fireballs for a living to make your dinner unless you've got a taste for charcoal. Temple Lock.
Wise words.
Temple Lock is the comparatively tiny, as you can see if I scroll back down a little bit, District of the Faithful. Large enough to have individual temples to each god instead of, the multi-god shrine that they've got in Goldendale. But not all of the gods have one, at least not in Belarys. Pelor and Nerul, Remi can go through this because she's very obviously been there. In fact, she lives quite close, or used to. Nerul and Pelor actually share a shrine. It's mostly sandstone, but it's got black and white marble accents. It's supposed to be in token that Nerul and Pelor, the gods of death and life, are partners, not enemies. Nature gods have their own temple, mostly Obad High of Nature's Wrath and Balinor of the Beasts. Beary has her own little corner. It's mostly quartermasters and people from the market that leave tokens there, mostly because they're the ones who remember that armies have to eat. The big ones, the ones that really get all the press here in Belarys, are Hieronius, he of chivalry and valor, Saint Cuthbert of zeal and common sense. Tritherian's got a fairly significant one. The traveler god, Farlan of the Thousand Strides, he's got a smaller one, mostly visited before the merchants and mercenaries have to take long journeys. Carter from Carter's Combine, Remi's old captain, actually insisted that the entire squad leave something for Farlan before they trekked out to the southern lands, just because, we're going to have a shit enough time when we get there. We don't need to add not having the favor of a travel god on top of it all. Doesn't really believe in it, but has to go through the motions predominantly. Smaller ones, the ones that are less dear to the residents but still have a place. They don't have temples, certainly not manned temples. Just small shrines studded through the district. Torm doesn't have so much a temple as a smaller version of the Proving Grounds, which is where Remi went when she got the call. Torm being the one who established the cleric and paladin orders. That kind of thing falls under his domain. Istis has got a tiny little altar somewhere, because most mercenary men don't like being at the whims of fate. And there's one other thing that, given some of the conversation about some sibling of Hazel's apparently being real big on Bahamut, there is a fairly good-sized temple to Bahamut the Platinum Champion in Belarys's temple lock, and it's surprisingly well-trafficked, and not just by Dragonborn. The Bravos boast, as you actually get to that general area up there, it's on the very edge. Back door leads into higher sword locks, sort of front end, basically. So it's sort of, if there's trouble in the place, it's fairly easy for them to just slip out, shove somebody out the back door and have done with it. Big but simple 4-story structure. It's nothing particularly fancified, but it'll do in a pinch. But it's loud. It seems to effectively set the standard for catering to adventurers. Remi will explain that fairly good fare, reasonable prices, and large open plan rooms that the biggest ones can house up to 5 people. So not so much the who's gonna room with whom, etc., etc. Clarity has been peering out the window the whole time, and when Sigwald was pointing out the places he'd been thinking of, the Leaf and Legend in particular, Clarity was just very much like, I'll stay here, and actually thinks about it for a moment and hands the party funds to Froseth. Just so I don't spend it by accident, but I just need to explore, and turns around to Hazel. You remember what I said about things maybe being a little awkward for a while?
And I am calling to Clarity, or as she leaves, don't try to take any books out of the building. They just teleport back to the shelves.
Good to know. I was having a moment, but thank you.
Say no more. And I just
At least
off.
I'll know where to find you all. I'll be back.
Hug before she leaves.
Just pat, pat, pat. It's fairly clear that as much as anything else, books, pastries, and time to herself actually had very much in the way of that. So yes, you've just had fleeing Clarity. Well, not so much fleeing exactly, but this is so exciting.
Tiefling with a mission.
Sweet and straight into the books.
Yep.
Yep, pretty much.
Tiefling with a mission. Just moving quickly enough. Moving fast enough to get a bonus to stealth, even though she's not stealthing.
Actually, not bad.
You just rolled for that, didn't you?
Yes,
Yep.
Yes, I did. Of course I did.
Your dice are terrifying. Just so you are aware.
I'll keep that in mind. It wasn't actually fantastic, but it was not bad.
All of your dice are golden snitches.
My dice are not golden snitches. Besides, it's just the one die. Okay, so yeah, you are outside this 4-story wood and mud brick building.
This is huge. This.
This place is loud. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise coming from inside, and when Darvin says that, Sigwald will probably remember about the book, bow, and dragon. If Darvin wants the better kind of loud, and also if they were
welcome to the
speaking out
city.
Tauren.
I realize something, and I have a question, Hazel. On the book, bow, and dragon, there is embossed an image of three halflings. One with blonde hair carrying a rainbow-colored crystal. One with black hair with a bow and arrow.
Brown,
and a
not
third.
black.
Sorry, brown hair. Sorry. And okay, let me just get the email in front of me.
And a redhead.
and one with red hair.
Tick, 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 clunk.
Dragon sitting on her shoulder.
With a dragon sitting on her shoulder.
I need to go there.
What?
It's not a place to stay, but it's definitely a place to have a few drinks.
I need to go there. Where?
I'm not finished with my question.
Point at me. Point at it now.
Who's the third?
You met the third. You remember? Small, red-haired halfling with the fairy dragon rescue?
No,
Lyra?
like
I have gotten right up in Sigwald's face, like, point to it.
I had no image in my head of what Lyra looked like.
I gave a description at the time.
Meanwhile, I'm just going. This is in character. This is me. Like I remember.
Yeah, he's kind of got a face full of me right now, as I am right up in his face.
All right, before that, I was going, remember?
Point where it is now.
A fairly burly, a half-orc woman in leather armor leans out of the door of the Bravo's boast. There's a problem here.
Oh,
No
Nope.
problem.
Nope.
Just making sure, because we've got enough noise in there. Is it Crestwind, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna want to avoid Carter if you can. He's still bitching.
Well, I'm not here for Carter. He's not in there, right?
Not in there, no, not at the moment anyway, but you know he tends to do the rounds, and mostly the rounds, what he's been doing is bitching about the god-bothering cunt who left his unit. Yeah.
Well,
Welcome home, Crestwind.
Is this
Thanks
going to be a
for that.
thing we need to worry about?
No. We bunk here for the night,
Okay.
and tomorrow
It's
we...
probably gonna be longer than a night.
Oh. Well, we bunk here for the night. Tomorrow we go see the governor. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
That's what we're going to worry about.
I mean, if I'm going to piss off a captain, I'd like to actually,
Oh, come
Don't
on.
do it of my own volition.
Don't do that.
But besides, he's kind of lost some face. That's part of why he's bitching.
Oh.
Because I mostly know this one by seeing him across the proving ground and reputation. I'm Edra, by the way. Hi. Look, okay. Don't really need to worry exactly about pissing off the captain, because it doesn't really work that way, because you guys are Baronsvere people, aren't you? I know that accent. Yeah.
Where's the book bone dragon from here?
Looks at Hazel. Grabs her by the back of the cloak. Lift. Are you going to let me finish?
Let her finish.
Looks around and actually sort of there's awnings over the window, so that if people want to like drink outside or something, they can do that. Actually fling Hazel onto the sort of
Boing!
yeah, no, it just leaves her there. So,
Oh.
it works like this. There's merc companies, they're not really organized in the same way as yours are. Captains are just the ones who are in charge. Some command more respect than others. I mean, you've got some of your legendaries, obviously, but Carter ain't one of them. Carter's been in shit for months because he did a really ill-advised charge, and we still haven't 100% heard what happened there, but he lost most of his squad, and of the survivors, we had one who apparently, it was apparently such a bad scene that one went straight for Retribution God. Which, kudos, by the way. That's kind of awesome. But he's kind of lost face, so he's trying to turn it around onto aforementioned god-bothering cunt.
Well, it's a big city. I'm sure this won't be a problem. So we're gonna do what we came here to do. I'll worry about Carter, who I'm sure won't be a problem.
We'll just lay low.
Exactly. We're gonna lay low. Not make a
Hey!
Looks at
We'll try!
Looks at Froseth. And we got Dragonborn here, but we don't have any silvers, so that might be harder than.
It'll show me its clarity.
Looks at Darvin. Spill it.
Who's clarity, Darvin?
Give me a deception check.
What, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, well, shit. All right.
How many drinks did you have on the trip?
You said it not!
Okay,
Hey. Boy.
at disadvantage because
Me
Darvin
dis-
just blown it for you.
Yeah, just okay. All right. I wasn't even trying to. It was just like, what the fuck are you talking about,
Sorry,
Darwin?
what
Like,
you said was lose clarity. That's
okay, with the
deception check with disadvantage. Thank you very much.
all right, okay,
Short these bloody words, mate.
all right. This is hilarious already.
You're welcome.
What
Oh
did I
wow,
do?
not bad.
14?
Jesus!
What?
Still, somehow Sigwald comes across as kind of, travel lagged, but somehow it comes across moderately sincere. Edra's still not buying it. Somebody gonna tell me, because I supplement my income by keeping things, okay, not quiet, but non-violent in there.
And we're gonna keep it that way.
Yep.
Okay,
She's a companion of ours. She's gone off in search of books she hasn't yet read.
She's staying at another place.
Tiefling.
And? Was that it? Was that supposed to be the big reveal?
Tiefling!
Yes.
That's all.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
she's a tiefling. Very interested in books. She's staying in another place.
Well, wait, she is? I thought. Well, no,
No,
she's
going
in
to
another
look
place
at
right now. She's staying with us. She's coming back, right?
Eventually, yes! Somebody let me down from here!
Edra just sort of picks her up by the back of the... again. Are you gonna shut up? Looks
I'm on the ground! Can I be on the ground?
There's a water barrel. She turns Hazel upside down and
Oh no!
then grabs the entire barrel, turns it, Hazel and all, upside down, puts Hazel on her feet with the barrel. No,
Okay, I think you've got the point across to her.
Yeah. Takes the barrel off. Then Hazel.
I am the soggiest half-elf.
You're gonna chill, okay?
Hazel, you don't make a very good barrel-chested figure.
Oh no. I dumped the wrong one.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Actually, what you're gonna do to pay for that nastiness, hence the empty barrel, there's a pump around the side. Fill her up. I'm going back in.
Oh, when in when
what you're gonna do.
Belarys.
There was a
Listen to the
Belarys.
nice lady.
Yeah.
We are such morons!
Yeah, pretty much. You managed to piss off
You're
the
helping.
bouncer.
Hazel, you're helping.
I wasn't even trying to! All I did was ask a question!
You interrupted.
Yeah, while she was in the middle of a sentence.
I didn't even realize she was in the middle of a sentence, because it blipped out on my end.
Well, in the meantime, Sigwald is going to be like drawing off Hazel, prestidigitate.
Hair is now.
I look like a cloud of brown.
That's going to happen every time, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So Clarity gets back.
Yeah, Darvin gets his barrel of water. Given his strength score, probably has a bit of a dragging.
That's why Hazel came with me.
Eventually, you manage to refill the dunk barrel. Apparently, that is exactly what it is there for. Find unruly people and get Edra to dunk them.
Wow!
Note to self: avoid Edra.
Edra's nice if you don't piss her off.
I'm going to try to help Darwin drag it back over.
Yeah,
Sigwald's just thinking
Yeah,
to himself,
between
we're
the
done.
two of you, you've got it.
but it's like, don't interrupt her, don't make puns.
Duly noted.
Right. Good.
So, you're...
So, You know your way around this place, Remi. Shall I count on you to book our rooms, or?
Yes, you will most definitely let me talk to the innkeeper.
Given the
I
last
think
time that
that's a
Remy,
good call.
that Sigwald did, yeah,
I figured as much.
yeah.
Okay, moving
Yeah.
on to the indoors.
Damn.
Jesus H.
Sorry,
Christ.
I don't mean to get out of character, but I'm just that impressed by the quality of these maps. Holy shit!
Wait until you see the book Bow and Dragon. Much more up on Marketplace. But
Jesus.
yeah, one of the big selling points of of the Bravos Boast is these little mostly
It has
walled off
booths.
it's not they're not booths, they're
Okay.
what are known in the UK as snugs. They're
Oh,
they're
okay.
sort of not quite rooms because there's not like doors or what have you, but they're largely walled off for some semblance of privacy, and it's a good thing because those tables and most of these and bellied up to the bar, lots and lots of people, all in various types of armor, most with
And in
weapons,
various. Yep.
talking generally fairly loudly. There's a few having relatively good-spirited arguments, probably over the divvying up of coin. Um, somebody's having a bit of a yell about some magical bit of jewelry that somebody found, and the one's going, "With the amount you made on that, you could just buy some at market." But it's not the point. I found it. I cut the bastard's hand off. Is what I did, etc., etc., etc. A couple are friendly arm wrestling, and there's shouts. There's you know general celebrating we survived a thing. A couple over in the corner by the fireplace are a bit more quiet, so Remi in particular will notice that that's the look of a mission did not go well. But mostly it's loud and busy, and it smells of good ale, roasting meat of some description. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's got a sort of a. It's definitely not beef and it's definitely not pork, but it's not bad. Quite nice, actually.
Smells of meat.
And there's 3 bars, each being manned by a different individual. There's a half orc grilling meat over in that corner over there. There is a pair of humans running up and down that bar. And here, where Remi knows you would go to talk to somebody about rooms, etc., is a halfling woman of brownish hair. Hard to tell age with a halfling, but given her height in relation to the bar, there's probably an entire bench running under the bar so that behind the bar so that she can traverse the length of it without sinking behind it. Yes, Remi actually knows that one as name. Basically, people just call her Mori. Apparently, it's a longer name than that, but nobody really uses it. It's just Mori because that's easier to shout across a bar. The other ones Remi's never got names for, but getting the proprietor's name is always a good idea. So, yeah, that's Mori, the halfling that owns the place. Actually spots Remi, frowns a little bit, trying to see the face from the armor from across the various crowds, because of course she's fairly short and she's had whole new armor now, but still sort of actually standing on her tiptoes from the from her little support stool, and gives a wave.
And you wave back and step up. Evening, Mori. I'm going to need rooms for myself and 5 companions.
Goodness, have you gone captain then, as well as paladin?
Not quite, but it's more of a adventuring band than a formal company.
Yes, but let's be perfectly honest. You've got to be even better being that kind of individual for an adventuring group, because you know they're it's a little bit like trying to wrangle geese sometimes. There's not the military discipline, so you know, whatever Carter is trying to say, most of us are just so proud of you. Leans over
I
and gives her a
appreciate
pat,
that.
pat,
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so who are your companions? And looks at Hazel. Oh, you're adorable. You're fluffy, but you're adorable.
And you go wave over to them.
Oh,
Plus one other who is not here yet, but will probably be here for a few nights, depending.
Everyone calls me Maury. This is my establishment. Welcome to the Bravo's Boast, and to to Equitas in general, I suppose. Except for you. Oh, you're the Sullivan boy, aren't you? Oh,
I am.
you are also fluffy, and you seem to have recovered remarkably well from that terrible prank some of your friends tried to pull on you. Honestly, of all of the places for a teleportation circle to land you,
I think I intimidated by them by how quickly I recovered and how unaffected I apparently was, relatively speaking.
well, yes, particularly given that you were in actually, I think it was more they were impressed that you got out of the changing rooms of the Flame of Dawn, women's changing room of the Flame of Dawn's mercenary company alive.
I am not sure how I did that either.
why do I have the feeling this is a
There is a
story
story
that will
here.
wind up being put to song at some point?
As I recall, though, most of them thought you were very cute.
Yeah, this is definitely song
I'm
material.
actually,
Sigwald just pulls his hat over his face and is just blushing furiously.
honestly, the rumor is that he got out by taking them up on their offer of, you've seen all of us naked, return the favor.
Sigwald!
They've made some wonderful comments about the state of his backside, I must say.
The lyrics write themselves.
What?
You.
Is this normal for a city?
It's normal for university students, so yes, kind of.
Ah.
It could be worse. He did actually get some of his friends to retaliate by teleporting the individuals responsible to the top of the dome of Skycliff.
Where is that? What is that?
You remember that very large building with the very big come with me, and she actually
We teleported them to the top of the gubernatorial building.
yeah, basically she's like, well, you'll need to see this anyway. Come with me, and
Yes, thank you.
She grabs
Okay.
grabs a couple of keys, and leads you to the roof of the building. There's a couple of eaves, but there's enough flat space for you to get a view of the city.
How many stairs did we go up to get there?
It's only 4 floors.
Many, but you know, you're in reasonably okay. Most of you are in reasonably good shape.
This is a very tall building.
You want a tall building, dear? Points.
Wow.
Basically, exceptionally tall building. It's got walls around it, and they're about the height of the building that you're standing on. the rest of the building is taller than that. Make me a perception check, all 5 of you.
All right.
All right. One moment.
For some reason, Roll20 isn't letting me open my character sheet in a separate window, and I keep on wanting to see the maps. So it's like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
14.
6.
Perception.
8.
13.
Where's there it is?
Hazel's the only one that really notices it, and even then, she's not 100% sure what she's looking at. When she looks at the dome, you'd expect that sort of thing to be closed off, but that really tall bronze-looking dome at the very top of that building seems to be more of a gazebo shelter held up by stone pillars reinforced with what might be bronze. The dome also looks a bit cracked, but not quite. There's just white hairline, well, from the distance you're looking at it from, it looks like hairline, very pale cracks.
Something hit the roof?
Oh, no, that's,
Huh?
That's,
What do you...
if you're actually looking, yeah, you'll see that there's very fine. No, that's decorative. If you look even closer, you'll see they're more of a lightning bolt pattern.
Huh.
Neat.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure what to make of that.
Yeah, but Hazel will note that there's an awful lot of space between the flat stone roof and the bronze dome, and all of that rest of it, apart from those pillars, is open to the air.
Like that giant pyramid-looking thing in Egriff, just with a cap on it.
What? Huh?
As it's pointed out to you, actually, no, to be fair, Darvin and Froseth still can't see it. Remi and Sigwald, now that they've had it pointed out to them, also probably because they're kind of remembering, yeah, I've heard something about this. Yeah, that whole thing is sort of an open air thing. But you do understand that sometimes very important meetings are held up there.
Really big.
Okay.
You want me to point you right at it? Because I can.
It's a dome.
Okay.
So out of character, am I realizing that the counter prank ended up teleporting a bunch of students into the middle of an important council meeting?
No.
They were on the top.
Yeah, they were way up at the top.
Okay.
What they were doing is more or less up to you, but it's either that or they had to call the gubernatorial guard to get them down.
Okay, right. It was probably the latter.
So you got them all the... Wow.
Way up there.
Some friends of mine did. I was not interested in counter-pranking, but apparently...
Well, I mean...
They were going to do
I
it.
would not want to land up there.
Well,
Taylor was high enough. Thank you.
Relatively speaking.
Well, now you've had a view of the city, I can show you room.
Yes. Well, while we're up here, since this is kind of sort of see what's...
What?
Well, what was it you were saying? The bow...
Oh!
Oh...
The book, Bow and Dragon, yes.
Book. Yes, I would like to...
Looks at Darvin with his wheel on his back. You'll like that place. You don't want to stay there. Bards and minstrels are welcome there, but the uh, accommodation prices are, it's single room and the prices are a bit
Steep.
that's a good word for it. Yes. But
Fair.
it's one of the main places where bards and minstrels in the city come to stay. It's right
Mm.
it's right on the edge of the open air market. It's very difficult to miss. It's
So that way?
Yeah, she points in
Okay.
the right general direction, and just basically, it's an extremely popular place. The accommodation's minimal. The prices are steep, but it's I mean it's where the bards go because it's the middle of everything.
Right. Of course. Location, location, location.
But they've actually had a rather good one for the last few weeks.
Oh?
Bronze Dragonborn. He originates from nearby, so he's sort of a local boy.
Mm-hmm.
You would have thought he'd move on by now. Most bards do, but he insists he's waiting for someone.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Hazel, yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Aha. I see. Well, it's a good thing that there's quite a little gossip network of tavern owners in the city. Big though it is, we do need to know the various bits of clientele before something happens like that unfortunate incident in Goldendale. We don't really want bards trashing the place. They do enough of that. But, they do enough of that on the weekend as it is.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Wow.
You'll
Heseltine is a menace!
Yes.
oh,
We weren't there for it, but we did see the aftermath.
and he's
Heseltine.
Heseltine.
You said
Yeah,
his name was
Heseltine.
Heseltine, right?
Heseltine. Yes, he's a little bit infamous here. He's
Oh.
he's one of the few bards they won't let into the
Oh,
into the academy.
he's that
library.
infamous. Well, yeah, I don't know how welcome he's going to be in the Golden Bout either.
I will make a very distinct note of that. But yes, I admit I pay specific attention to the book Bow and Dragon because the diminutives have kind of been heroes of mine. And, that was a noise that you made.
Mom are famous!
Oh boy.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
This is Hazel Hot. I should have said sooner. She's one of the adopted daughters of Twilla and Miranda.
Heart.
Miranda?
Twilla Quick Flight and Miranda Hot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Stories change some things.
Or do you know them as
That was the secret. Oh no.
Well.
Actually, kinda, but anyway. So you've just got this thing going, oh, well.
I take it.
Yeah, that's kind of not known.
Maury, I take it from now on. I should refer to Miranda as Rand.
Honestly, it's not going to matter within the next 10 minutes.
Oh.
Hands, Hazel one key, Darvin another. I'll shut your... You're not gonna shut her up.
Dun dun dun.
Hopefully this isn't bite us in the butt. You realize you just basically handed her the biggest, probably one of the biggest, little nuggets of information that have come through in a minute.
I am not a good spy. Why do you think I left Grays in?
That's a fair point.
Why do you think I left Grays in? This is what I'm like.
Back through the doors. If you'd like to be shown to rooms.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
already
we'd like to be
following,
shown to
like
rooms.
just flail panic.
Yes. After some discussion, she basically shows you to 2 rooms. One will be for Remi, Hazel, and Clarity when she rejoins you. And now that you guys know where you are, you've got Flitty going. I'ma go and make sure that.
Clarity's okay.
Well, yeah, but I was just thinking that I should let her know that we definitely have rooms here,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't understand me.
Oh.
But if she's
Oh.
in it, but if she's in a book place, there's bound to be somebody who can understand me.
Or we could write
I
a note.
could write a note.
Okay, I get to carry things.
Froseth, would you like to do the honors?
Can there be food before I go though?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Maury poof
No,
off already?
No, she's made sure that everybody's comfortable. You've got you've each got 3 beds and 1 extra because they're originally made for 4, but
Right.
either way, it's gonna be 3 and 3. So
Yeah.
we've got dinner going downstairs. We basically keep the kitchen open. Today we are having roasted yak.
That's what that was.
You've never heard
What's
of
a yak?
I have no idea what that is, but it didn't smell like anything it smelled good, but it didn't smell like anything I was familiar with.
Actually, Froseth knows yak. He hasn't had it since he left the monastery.
What is it? Aside from meat.
What's a yak?
It's very large and kind of fluffy, and it comes from northern countries.
Okay.
Like is it like a cow?
It's meat. So it counts.
It's
It's
I'm
it's big
getting
meat
the
on 4
impression
legs.
long-haired cow. Is that about right, Froseth?
Out of character.
I can't think
I
of
have
a better description.
All right.
Close enough.
Cow.
Yeah, the horns are massively different, obviously.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it is to cows what those Briards at the Sullivan plantation are to dogs.
I say something like that. I ask something like that. Froseth, is that about right?
We could ask Maury. They're the ones cooking them.
Mostly we just get the haunches in all fairness, but
Very
Big 4-legged meat. I'm all for that.
I'm a bit gone in the mental image realm.
you could ask Orin. He's the half-orc that we've got in the kitchen. He occasionally runs with the brass arrows, and he hunts things.
Oh.
He brought us back. He brought us back this, so he's quite proud, and he will talk your ear off about yaks and other things all day if you let him.
Well, I
would
mean,
suggest not letting him because then
Oh.
things will burn.
oh, right.
He's cooking.
Good point.
Remember, kitchen open constantly.
Good point. I admire someone with a passion, though. So yeah, even if it might not be my thing, sometimes the enthusiasm is great to watch.
Yes. For food orders, you want to talk to Orin. For drinks, you want to talk to Jed and Jazz at the main bar. And how long do you think you'll be staying?
A few nights.
At least, probably I would say no more than a week. What do you think?
I should hope no more than a week. That seems about right.
Just for a
No idea.
simple set number.
Okay, you will be looking with 2 meals a day at 20 silver a night. But again, that's your meals included. But that's why we keep a separate bar, because your bar tab does not come with the we keep
Oh, well.
we keep reasonable prices at the bar, but we're not stupid.
My respect for that.
I guess the best way to do that would be to get the local soldier types in and drinking a lot of a lot of a lot.
She starts making more sense eventually.
I don't know, I think.
In any case, and to be fair, the 20 silver is a room and 3 people's meals. So that's a total of 40
Wow.
silver a night for all 6 of you, with your
Very
2
reasonable.
meals. It's
Good man.
believe me, you're looking at you're looking at 2 gold a night at the Book Bow and Dragon.
yeah.
And
Ugh.
you don't even want to hear about some of the other places and their prices, but we're catering to mercenaries on furlough, so
Yeah. Well,
That's fair.
Yep. No, I very much. I'm.
we can run you a tab. That's not a
Okay.
problem. I would like to at least take the first night's payment in advance.
Of course.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah, because Froseth has the party funds now, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just actually. But
It's-
we're focusing now. So now what we have is 387 gold, 9 silver.
Okay. 387 gold, 9 silver.
And they're still giving the prices in silver because it feels more reasonable than saying
Yeah.
4 gold a night.
Eh.
But it's still for 6 people, and it's 2
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
making it's very reasonable. I am all for this. I like this place. It is solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's raucous, and it's kind of cheaped out on the furniture a little bit, but it's got a kind of a piecemeal feel to it, just with more mercenary.
Mm-hmm. This place, I like this place. It is solid. This place feels like the people it serves in the best sort of way. And I'm saying all of this out loud in character, mind
so
you.
And Moria's just going, well, then we'll just hope Carter doesn't come in. The Combine has been having a far worse reputation since.
Oh no.
I'm sure we're not going to have a problem.
I'll
Give everybody a look.
I'll get. I'll make sure Edrin knows to kind of, if he comes in, kind of keep him in the other basic direction.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, the
I
only
can't
problem I think we'll have
guarantee-
is if he starts something.
Yeah. Looks over at Hazel and you want to avoid him.
Blink, blink.
Points at the symbol of Palor and then just gestures to the general
Mhm.
genericness of her.
He has a problem with.
I heard Edra bellowing. You did hear the words "God bothering cunt" leave his mouth.
Starting to inflate.
Paladins, at least, they hit things, and clerics, anyway. By all means, take a seat. You can speak to Jed, Jazz, and Orin for meals and drinks, and I'm assuming that Froseth has put the 4 gold down on her bar,
Yeah.
and she rummages around underneath and brings out a bottle, amber-colored bottle, although the liquid inside is far darker. Remi will recognize this. It's not a bad cheap plonk, but it's a cheap plonk. But it's free drinks.
Yeah, I'm not going to be picking.
Plonk?
It's a British term for wine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wine.
I thought that's where you were going.
Wine from a box is plonk.
No,
Mm.
it's cardboard dough.
Anyway.
So, asking DM directly about the prices out of character here. So it's 20 silver a night per person, or 20 silver a night per room?
It's I said this,
Okay, sorry.
but it got lost. I will
Okay.
repeat myself again.
Okay, thank you.
It is 20 silver, which means 2 gold per room.
Okay. All right.
And the meals for the 2 meals for the 3
Okay.
people in it, which means you have breakfast, you have dinner, lunch you deal with for yourselves, which is, given the delights promised by the Belarys open air market.
Oh man, I was forgetting about conversion rates. Whoops, it's tenths, not okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was where we had
Silvers are to gold as dimes are to dollars. Okay.
Yes.
My
And
bad.
There we go.
And
There we go.
coppers are to silvers as pennies are to dimes.
There you go. So, let's get some food. Let's get some yak. And then, never mind.
Don't talk back.
I lean over to
Thank you. I
You!
didn't say it, but you
just
still got it.
at us!
Actually, that was Maury, and that was in character. And the giggling and the red in the face is also entirely in character.
I like.
Oh no, there's 2 of them!
I like her.
I've been
delight.
hanging out with mercenaries for far too long.
You are a delight. You are.
There's 2 of them! I am deflated and am now panicking.
Grab Hazel by the back of the collar. Chill. Just kind of.
There's
I'm
2
just
of you.
I know. Sigwald goes over and places a hand on each shoulder and goes, Hazel, breathe with me. In. Out.
They actually did deflate. Cool.
Out. Okay.
At which point, also looks over. First of all, you're being very patronizing, but it seems to work, so I'll go with that for the time being. But it just does occur to me that she might actually behave like an adult if you treated her like one.
Not wrong.
Also, I happened to notice there was a small blue flying thing with some kind of miniature dragon. So
Yes, I wanted to. I wanted to ask with my meal. Do you have anything in the way of cookies or sweets or things of that nature?
we don't get a lot of call for it, but there's a couple of places that you could go if you wanted to stock up. I mean, for just sweets and things in general, and spices for taking things home in case certain halfling mercenary captains and their wives, interestingly, might want some tastes of home that they don't have to order so very special. There's sugar and spice.
Okay. Making note of that.
And then there's Crestwind's local bakery.
Wait,
I'm
what?
just
Smiling.
staring at Remi now.
Remi's just gonna drink.
You are full of surprises, Remi.
Well, actually, to be fair, you just got the bottle. You haven't even got glasses, so I just see Remi, pull
Oh, yeah,
pull the cork out and swig.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
You better not have left any backwash in that.
No comment.
I need ale. I'm actually
But yes,
going to turn
we
around
do
and
have
go
a
for her.
we do have a small fairy dragon with us. She's
Actually, because Flitty hasn't gone anywhere, he's actually sitting on top of Froseth's head, sort of,
oh, my bad.
being
and
dragon.
Oh, well,
Dragon on
and-
dragon.
Yes. And right there. So a little side of. I'm not sure. Flitty, do you have any preferences as far? You said you were hungry. Any preferences?
And thinking about it, uh, my preferences tend to be whatever nibbles happen to be passing. I like sharing with you. It's fun.
Oh, okay.
I get to jump in the greens and roll myself up in the bready bed, and it's great.
She'll have what we're having.
I think
She's
we can divvy
adorable.
out a side of our own portions for the fairy dragon.
You're going to need to speak to Orin about portions. He's the one.
Well,
that
I was saying directly to
yes,
Orin.
and she's standing right there.
That's what I was saying to Orin.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wait.
Flitty.
no, Orin's across the.
Orin's on the other end of the room,
Shit.
man.
Shit, wrong name. Maury.
Yes,
Maury. Orin. Maury. Whatever. Ugh.
If
I
you
was
actually,
talking-
take the advice you gave to Hazel in character, breathe and
Breathe.
listen. There you go.
Like herding cats.
Breathe, focus. You are still at this bar.
So we will, I guess, leave you to it. So
Yes,
we'll.
don't make me chase you for the. You can pay by the day if you're not sure how long you're staying, but don't make me chase you.
Oh no.
We
no,
will,
perish
Of course
the thought.
not.
keep on top
Perish
of
the
it.
thought. No, perish the thought. No.
And
Are the spaces over that way? Are those free?
There's basically when you turn around to there, you'll find that that sort of bit nearest the fire. Not the entire table, but
Mhm.
enough to cram yourselves in. I'd grab that fast. We fill up.
Right. Well, I was gonna say we could also. Are any of the snugs you call them? Free?
I didn't. I'm assuming that either Sergeant Crestwind or Diviner Sullivan. Did you actually make Diviner properly, or are you still just journeyman?
Did I make diviner?
You would still be journeyman, starting at a level 4.
I'm still a journeyman.
Pardon me then, journeyman Sullivan. Must have used that word for you. I'm afraid you're gonna have to take a peek, but and see if any of them are available. They might be.
Okay.
Meantime, though,
We'll
it
grab
looks
the
like-
table and
Well,
someone can look.
she's actually giggling and pointing at where Flitty is in guard stance. A couple of mercs come by and it's just. And Darvin and Froseth and Sigwald can hear. Give us 2 minutes to decide where we're sitting, and you can have it if we don't need it. But for them, it's just. Fires up on
This
hind
is
legs and
Sylvan, so I
flaps.
don't understand it either.
Yeah, and flaps the little butterfly wings and ours.
Apparently, we're here.
Well, it's more sort of you can look in the snugs and see if any of them are free if you want to. It's just Flitty is holding that just in case.
Okay. I'll go ahead and do exactly that. Just sort of go down the line and see if any of them actually are free, and if any of them are, I'll wave to Remi and be like,
Yeah, you're gonna have to grab a couple of chairs, but that one in the far corner down there. It's the furthest from the bar and the food, so it's not as desirable. But it's free, so.
well, we could either sit all the way over here, or we could sit closer to the fire, but we might get eavesdropped. But as long as that doesn't matter, it's up to y'all.
I'm fine with either one.
Okay.
Let's sit by the fire.
All right, fire it is.
Flitty is just sitting there so proud. I kept our seat.
Thank you, Flitty. You are as always a marvel.
Screech, scritchy, 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 scritch.
Happy. Very good.
I'm gonna say in Sylvan, thanks, Flitty.
It's okay.
and straight towards the bar.
I'm gonna go. Well, Hazel's going to the bar. I'm going to speak to Orin.
Yes, to the bar here. Yes. I mean, he's about the height of Yusuf, but he's burly enough to make make Yusuf look weedy. Scars. This guy has seen some combat.
Damn.
If you are selling damnation, I don't want any. I've seen hell 8 times already.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stare.
Yes, you did. I can understand this because you are not from here. You are from wide open spaces and tiny, tiny villages. And I like those kinds of places, but they stare all the time.
Sorry.
It's okay. You will get used to it, or someone will punch your face out the back of your head. It will not be me, however. I only do that to things that deserve it. And I say things, not people.
Like my face where it is. I understood there was yak, which I'm not familiar with, but
There is yak. The yak did not give me very much of a fight, but enough of one to be getting on with. To be fair, the yaks were basically incidental. My contract with the arrows was for something far bigger, but we cannot serve its meat because it would kill you all, and we like repeat business.
Fair point. Well, it smells amazing, so I would definitely like to have some of that, along with whatever else sides, I guess.
Yes, we serve. You ask for food, we give you food. We do not
Okay.
have much in way of option. Do any of these look like vegetarians to you? Points, waves a hand at the room.
I mean, exactly. I'll have what you're serving, essentially, but it smells wonderful. I wanted to at least make a point of saying that, and I was also curious because like I said, I've never heard of a yak.
Holds up a hand, picks up very big pencil from a shelf under the bar and some parchment. A little while later, you know, one of those people who can draw like really fantastic art in like 2 minutes.
He's
Yak.
Wow. That okay? I can okay. Huh. Thank you. Wow. Okay.
But I do not recommend you eat it. Not the paper.
Oh
Would
well.
not
No.
take well to a flame. That was a joke.
Remi, I like this one too.
Oh, I didn't get to hear any of that because I was sitting at the table with Flitty.
I just shout like, Remi, are you at the table or are you
First
over here?
lip reading this entire thing, or at the very least, what he can see of Orin's face, so he does see the, at least not the parchment. That was a joke. Completely straight face, which I am not doing.
I don't know if anybody else can hear me, but I'm going, Remi, I like this one too.
Yeah, if you've got the trained voice, you can
project far enough.
I take it I am serving for them too.
Yes. We've got myself, Remi, Hazel, so five of us.
The ones that don't look like they belong here.
Right. And
except for the one that does.
Right. We also have a small companion with us as well, Fairy Dragon. We also have another friend, but I'm not sure when she will be arriving. My understanding the kitchen was pretty well just open.
Yes, we open from approximate dinner time until end of breakfast.
Okay. So then if she shows up later, it'll be okay.
Yes, unless she has found unless she has found food elsewhere, is a
Well-
possibility. There is a lot of variety in this city.
Yeah, you tell me about it.
Go,
But I do.
go
going.
sit.
Except I'm going to go back to the table. Go. Okay, meals are ordered. Be right back, and I'm heading straight to the bar.
Well, Hazel's already there, and she's got harried looking closer to their twins. Human, off blonde, running around like synchronized swimming team, and they sort of screech to a stop when everybody else is served, stop in front of Hazel, and in unison, "Can we help you?"
Has Darvin made it to the bar yet?
Probably not at this point, but
Nope, not yet.
approaching kind of. This is the point at which you hear, "Remi, I like this one too." So he'll be there in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything from Suntree?
He shades a look. We'll just check, and they run in separate directions. This is the point at which Darvin turns up as.
What? Where'd they go?
I asked for Suntree stuff.
Zip. The guy who's apparently Jed goes, "Unfortunately, no." The girl, who's Jazz apparently, is going, "You probably want to go to some place closer to the temple lock for that." Jed turns around with, "We've got more the kind of some stuff, wouldn't recommend it, came from Star Coast before we stopped getting stuff from Star Coast." Jazz, "We do have some stuff from the Elven Wild, but I always kind of thought it was froofy." And Jed, oh no, that stuff from Goldendale. They got good wheat. Yeah, but I like the stuff that we actually brew here. Yeah, but she's asking from Baronsveer's stuff, okay? Actually having the twin argument. They stop, they
The
realize what
local
they're
stuff
doing.
sounds good.
Yes. I want to drink here. For lack of a better way to put it. Every place has something that makes them them, and that's what I want.
He's with me.
Yeah, says Jed, but this is a Merc bar. To drink this place would either be to liquefy the building or wind up drinking blood, sweat, and other fluids you really
I'm a
don't
bard,
want
I
to
was
get
being
involved
metaphorical.
I like these two.
Yeah. I'm a bard, I'm being metaphorical.
With. At which point, Jazz leans up to him and going, "You're cute, but we don't have time for metaphor."
Fair. Whatever you've got local is fine.
In
What
unison,
were they talking about, Froseth?
in unison, "We've got just the thing." Boom. Off in separate directions again.
What is going? Mind blown.
Hazel, they run faster than you.
And then,
Yeah, I noticed.
And then you're kind of smack in the middle of the bar, and from either side, tankards. One sort of turns up, one turns up, and then from their opposite sides of the bar, slide, clink, without jostling a drop.
This could be fun.
You are amazing.
The counting. That's 2 silvers a mug, 5 total, so that's 1 gold whole thing.
I actually do have a little bit, so I'm going to use my own I'm going to use one of my personal. Let me mark that. So I'll do 1 gold and like 5 silver.
They put the gold, and then they look at the 5. They look at the 5 silver, and they're clearly going, "How are we going to split this evenly?"
I'm adding a silver.
Jed and
So I
Jazz,
saw that happen and went, no.
Jed and Jazz actually come around from behind the bar. Again, you barely see them move. Zip. Each plant a kiss on Hazel's cheeks, and they're back at the. And just actually flick each other gold coins in a kind of a juggling act until somebody's like, "Oi!" and they basically grab their 3 out of the air and boom in separate directions again.
Let's go get a city.
Yep,
now.
I am
Yes?
bringing the mugs back to the table and divvying them out. Local. Boom, 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 boom.
Hazel's turning colors.
Turning colors and absolutely stunned as fuck.
Hazel, get the other 2.
Yeah, I figure she already did that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Setting them down and then just sort of very stiltedly sitting down. I'm okay.
See, it will occur to Remi at this point that there's usually in certain kinds of merc taverns another function of the bar staff. Dot dot dot. The whole negotiable virtue thing. Horizontal refreshment.
Holy sh!
I got that before any of you guys registered that.
Remi's not gonna judge.
No, but it's fairly clear that that some of these have no idea that was, you know, an indication of, yeah, we're up for it kind of thing.
Well, if they're not reaching for the coin purses yet, without clearly not knowing what they're talking about.
That's fair enough. So yes.
I have no idea what happened. I just got drinks and went back to the table.
You've got. I mean, you've now got trays of meat, and Orin has actually somehow made up a small plate.
I was so hoping he would do that.
Careful slivers of yak, and Flitty's sort of going, I like sharing though. This is nice, and I feel important, but I like feeling like the family.
I'll scoop my plate a little bit closer.
It's okay, I have food. But
Wait. I'm going to scoop my plate a little bit over. I'm going to be like, share. And I'm going to take a little list off of the...
Yeah, you can share mine. Yay.
See, we're sure.
Boing, 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 boing.
And Sylvan, you're adorable. Scratch, 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 scratch.
No,
I got that.
Not too much scritching. I have food. I am hungry.
Okay.
Nom. And yes, for Froseth, differently spiced, because the monastery was very subtle in its flavoring of most things.
Yeah.
But it and they didn't do potatoes exactly. But the yak at least is, yeah. But for the rest of you, it's a very rich kind of a meat, as befits something that is, you know, lots of the blood flowing through it to keep it warm. So,
As far as I understand, it's a lot leaner than beef too.
well, it would. I don't know about that actually.
Yeah.
I would have thought that, particularly if it was actually killed in the north, it'd have insulating fat layers. It'd be more like bear that actually has the fat marbled through
Yeah.
some of the flesh to. I mean, meat weighs more, but fat insulates better. And yeah, they've got the fur, but there's got to be a similar blubber component to things that you get with the sea mammals.
I like it.
Warmth retention.
In any case, it's clearly been sort of, you know, slow cooked and is tender, is nicely spiced, is filling. You're not going to get dessert here. They don't do that kind of frou-frou crap, but
This meat is basically already dessert.
it's for that, you guys already have a couple of places that you can
Mm-hmm.
drop in on, like
Sugar and Spice and Crest Winds.
Sugar and Spice will probably be closing by the time you guys get there. Bakeries will tend to be open a little bit longer, and besides, there's
So, and I'm just mid, So, Floody mentioned food, and that made me remember, oh, cookies are a thing. So my thought was to, get a few for just
At
to
a
have
certain
a hand
bakery.
for Flitty. And my understanding was you have a bakery.
Well, I don't have a bakery, so you're still gonna have to pay for the cookies.
And I am now just halfway into my mug. Goodbye.
I just can't.
want
Pick,
no
I just
part of
can't. Pick,
this.
I don't. Okay. When I said you, I was speaking. Your family has a bakery, or I assume they're related.
Yes, my parents have a bakery. Down in the city.
For the record, Father Amel, Mother Corey.
So I'm just now. By all means, if I'm overstepping, let me know. But I'm just curious how you went from that to you. I'm just curious. I mean, I went from tailor to tailor, so
it's not a bard's story by any means.
Oh, that's cold.
She didn't mean to be that cold, just flat.
yeah, I'm a little.
Haven't noticed. Mug.
I just wanted a different life.
That's fair.
And things happened as they happened.
Well, yeah. I was just
And
curious.
I was thinking about going down there after we go to the governor's palace and figure out the time frame of next steps.
okay.
But on the other hand, you have spoken to Maury and you've given her enough gossip fodder for the next 3 weeks. So it's possible that if you don't visit soon, they're gonna know you're in town before you tell them.
So
Well,
I mean, you have family here. I mean, when we went to Sigwald's, we let them know post haste. You might want to do that now. Just a thought.
Getting a hold of your family sooner than later is better. Always better. So much better.
What time is it at the moment?
Like
Early.
Roughly.
It's the sun has just gone down. You have Flitty saying 2 things. 1, points little claw at Hazel. Lesser restoration. 2, cookies.
I'm casting that on myself.
Okay, yes, we can go now.
You can't understand it. You just see the perking.
No,
up.
no,
Yeah. Flitty is
Hazel more.
Yeah, Flitty is now. In case you can't tell, that's the word cookies over and 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 over.
I've stopped now.
Oh. By the way,
Okay,
does Lesser
we'll go.
Restoration do anything for the hangover effect?
Yes, it's purging a poison.
Yeah, so it's gone. You're fine. You're sober.
Okay,
Wow,
we can go
that works
now.
fast.
Then
But point at Hazel. Don't overwhelm them. And let's not make them worry about the God's given quest.
I'm not
Okay.
going to say anything unless you say it. It's your family.
Remi, let me ask you this: are they as low key as you tend to be?
Yeah. People, they live in the city, they
Okay.
bake bread. So we Don't need them to work. We're on a quest, but we can leave it at that.
Okay. Just
We're
wanted to
doing
know how to
fun
play it,
stuff.
assuming that we even go with you.
I mean, I was kind of assuming you were going to go with me.
Okay. Well, it's your family. I mean, it's your call.
And besides, Remi, in her head is probably maybe they'll stop worrying if they know that somebody's with me. Then again, then they'll actually meet the people who are with me, and they'll probably worry more. I have no idea. But it's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other situation. Either way, we are past that time because we've been having so much fun with the.
Oh, damn! I didn't even realize.
But so we will take our 5-minute break before we go into the rest of the city to visit Crestwind's the bakery and see what is what at the Book, Bow and Dragon. And we're back. The gang has had its surprisingly long adventures in the Bravo's Boast, uh, which is a nice little tavern, sort of out in the edge of the market lock, and making plans to see Crestwind's bakery for cookies and meeting Remi's parents.
Surprise!
It's pulling back the city map. It's a bit of a walk, but it does cut you directly through Belarys's open air market, and its reputation is not exaggerated. Sigwald and Remi will point out another couple of places which I will run through with you because I am the one who has the notes. There's one place that Remi knows by practical application reputation, and Sigwald knows because he's heard of the people running it. It's called Arcane Inc. its incredibly specialized shop. It's sort of wedged in that little corner there between. So it's sort of at the midway point between Higher Swords Lock, Student Lock, and obviously it's still in the Market District. It specializes in magical tattoos, each capable of producing arcane effects. Prices vary depending on whether someone wants a simple one-off ace in the whole thing or a permanent effect. The reason Sigwald knows about it is that the shop is run by two enterprising former students of the Belarys Academy for the Arcane, a tiefling by the name of Gelfred Anadin, and a high elf named Verena Willowsborough. And the one who does the really delicate work, though, is a sprite called Delan. So you've actually, Sigwald will tell stories of having, again, it's Sigwald and Remi each have stories of hearing about people talking about basically having a sprite walking up and down bits of shoulder, arm, etc., with a needle.
Interesting.
There's also little closer to the Bravo's boast, it's kind of a blacksmith weaponry shop that's simply called the Steel Singer's Return. They have a very small stock of Steel Singer quality weapons being sold at absolutely obscene prices. Corvellin, who's the half-elf who runs the place, he keeps insisting that he and his father before him are just keeping an eye on the place until the Steel Singer comes back.
And that term definitely strikes
I'm probably staring at it as we pass. Just stare.
Yeah, because that's the first place that you'll be pointed in the direction of. And looking at the big, well-appointed building and comparing it to Jenna's shop.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then there's Travistock's Trinkets, run by a rock gnome who was born of a long line of Egref artificers. He went to the Belarys Academy, the Arcane, polished his skills yet more, and then moved on to the Market Lock's more arcane-focused district, opened up his own shop, specializes in arcane jewelry.
Ooh.
And then there is Sweetwater and Sisters. Hazel will know this one better than most because she has known Lyra Sweetwater all her life. It's part apothecary shop, part sundry store. Technically, it's owned by a halfling named Edvar Sweetwater. He's inherited it from his parents, but he has 3 adopted sisters. One set of half-elven twins, and a red-skinned, black-haired tiefling. The twins are Ariella and Aliera. Ariella sells maps and artifacts from far-off land. She has a tendency to travel. Aliera is an artificer by trades and sells the few of her trinkets that meet with Belarys safety standards. There are not many. Mava's the tiefling, and she is actually also with a mercenary group. She's with the Flame of the Morning. So when she comes back, she does a line in second-hand adventuring gear and magical artifacts that she finds and picks up while on campaign. Edvar just sells potions and soaps. There is also the Doll's House, magical toy store. Specializes in animated plushies and dollhouse furniture.
Killer teddy bear.
Yes, living teddy bears.
Actually,
It's
you put Furbies in this world?
No, I put Teddy Ruxpins in this world.
Okay.
But you actually, as you do pass by the, as depending on how you're walking, you actually come fairly close to Sugar and Spice, and you can actually smell the sort of, candy sweets and various other things from a ways away. This is where Sigwald would usually get his dark chocolate fix.
That's not quite what I'm looking for. I think that's more of nah.
Yeah, but they do other stuff pretty obviously, and that's the kind of thing where, pick up stuff for mom and mama on the way home kind of thing. But it's a place
Mhm.
you definitely pass by on your way to Crestwinds. It's a fairly small shop. It's not it'd be more in the sort of middle range of it's not superbly upmarket, but it's not downtrodden either. It's a nice little bakery with what's clearly living space above it, and they're not quite shut yet. But this is the time when you get some of the kids of the neighborhood coming for baked goods that need to be sold off before they go stale. So you get this sort of swarm of kids spending their coppers on various bits of cookie and sweet roll and that kind of thing. And when you see the Crestwinds through the window as you're still approaching, it's kind of difficult to imagine. They're both fairly tall. And the father he topped 6 feet. Mother stands about the height that Nora did, so about 5'6", 5'7", and there's Remi at like 5'2".
Yeah, I'm looking up at the father and looking over at Remy, kind of, but more down, going, huh? All right.
All right. So, why don't you guys go gather up some cookies? Give me a moment. Got
You
it?
go in first.
Exactly.
Well, you've actually already got Flitty going in with the swarm of kids, sort of nuzzling at kids' ears to make them giggle. It's sort of, hello.
She'll let Flitty do as Flitty does,
I was like, hello.
and then she'll step in.
You get still serving kids. Corey looks up, eyes widen a little bit, but holds up a hand and waves over her father, just sort of because she's obviously still in the middle of things. So Amel is the one who steps over and hesitates for a moment, and then just most awkward hug. Pat, pat, pat.
Hi, Dad.
Remi, do you ever take the armor off?
Well, we did just get into the city, so we haven't settled in.
Right. I'm sorry, it's just hugging with metal. You've got new armor. Very
Yes.
new armor. And you've brought people, and why is there a little blue thing with butterfly wings?
That's
That is
Flitty. He's cool.
Flitty. She's a fairy dragon, right?
He's a fairy
is a
dragon.
fairy
He's a
dragon.
fairy dragon.
And he actually lands on top of Emil's head, leans so that he's looking at him upside down. Hello! You are responsible for the cookies, and therefore I like you! It's just sort of looking at, like, what? Remi?
Flitty.
Flitty
Give him
says
some
you were
space.
Flitty said you were responsible for the cookies, therefore Flitty likes you.
Reaches over to where there is sort of a jar, pulls out what appears to be some kind of double chocolate thing, holds it up. I really like you.
And
Give
I
us
quote,
a minute.
I really like you.
And just perches on top of the doorframe and nom nom. The kids are sensing there's a thing, so they just hurry up their purchase and get the hell out. At which point Corey comes around the table and far less far less awkwardly just thump,
I'm on.
hugs Remi to her bosom. We got your last letter. We're I'm I'm sure the word I'm looking for is more proud than worried, but there's a lot of that too. You're okay, right?
Yes, I'm doing okay.
Well,
Everything
nothing's
things are
eaten.
fine. This is fine.
Nothing's eaten you yet, so that's
No,
okay.
clearly.
You actually made friends. When did you make
Yes.
Ew.
friends?
Hello.
Hello.
This is the Cupcake Coterie. So
She just burst out
we're
laughing.
in the right we're in the right place, clearly.
Long story.
I shall have to add coterie cupcakes to our desserts and sundries menu. That'll be a thing.
I
Clearly, that'll
have
be
a
thing.
recipe to share with you if that's in that case.
Darvin, is it really ours to share?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And I bring out my old spell book and flip over to the last page, which has the cupcake recipe on it.
Oh, that's actually very clever. May I? He just starts scribbling things down, and Amel is sort of going. So do these friends of yours have names?
Hazel Hearthheart.
Oh,
Sigwald Sullivan.
oh.
Darvin.
Does our reputation precede us?
Hearthheart's a name here. You were never entirely to blame, but you were either the butt of or
Inspiration for.
semi-aligned with every stupid prank for the last 3 years. And then there was nobody's entirely sure whether you're taking a leave of absence for is there a polite way to put this, Corey? No, they think he's gone mad. Still copying things down. We try to tamp that one down because we know something about young ones running off at the behest of gods. Looking at Remi. Of course, in our case, at the very least, we had the satisfaction of knowing that it was one that actually existed.
He definitely exists. I'm very positive of that.
Yes, we're trusting you that far. We just are kind of worried because when gods ask people to do things, those things tend to be insanely dangerous. And well, we hear stories about the Southern Lands. We heard what happened to the Combine. We have Carter coming in here once every 2 weeks asking if we've heard anything about... And Corey is just like, Amel? All right, I won't repeat it. But
We heard.
Yeah, we can just not tell him anything, and
for a big
That'll work
city,
out.
you've forgotten, Remi, for a big city, word gets around.
I do want to punch him now.
And
Well,
look,
We're not
nobody's
doing that.
punching him.
No, we're not doing it. I want to, but we're not doing it.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's a start.
oh, she's one of those, the one who says everything that's on into her mind so that she doesn't actually do it later.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You
the idea.
used to be like that, Remi. This is why we were a little bit surprised about the friends, because when people got on her nerves, she would say, I want to hit them, but she'd never actually do it. She was just venting the fact that she wanted to hit them so that she didn't actually hit them. Now,
She did suggest I should experience getting stabbed at one point.
I didn't say that.
No, if I recall correctly,
no,
you just
you
asked
weren't-
if you had been.
No, you weren't there.
Oh, right.
This was them standing just inside the fog, and sort of going, like, Remi,
Well,
is he evil?
I quoted poorly.
No.
She didn't actually
Sigwald
suggest I
is-
should be stabbed. She asked if I had ever been stabbed.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's an
Th- th-
important
Important
difference.
distinction.
Hey,
It is a good point of distinction.
Corey closes the Sigwald's old spellbook, hands it back to him, steps back around to Remi, takes her by the shoulders. I'm not sure I want to ask this, but now I have to. Do you actually know what being stabbed feels like?
I know what being lacerated feels like.
I am sorry, young man, but let's be perfectly clear about this. You are not our daughter. Was I
Well-
talking to you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
That
gonna.
wasn't- Stabbed recently.
Sigwald's gonna
She
step
got
back.
better.
I'm fine.
No, I do believe that in every battle we've ever had together, she was always completely unscathed.
See?
Well, I suppose the fact that you're...
Stritharian is with me now, so you have a lot less to worry about.
And I suppose
Yeah, the weird thing is the weird stuff keeps happening to him. I'm pointing at Darvin.
And then Pelor is with Hazel, so
It just
we're in a pretty good spot.
yeah, walks over to Corey walks over to Hazel, right into her face. If you let my daughter stay hurt longer than is necessary, I will track you down, and I will make sure you find out what being stabbed feels like. Okay?
Asm. Okay.
Mom!
No. You wanted to go out and have adventures. We accepted this, but I need to vent too, you know. My daughter goes off to that hellhole in the south, and is
Yeah, well,
thanks be to Tritherian, apparently one of the few people who actually comes back alive. And part of me just wants to lock you in the basement until you give up this whole adventuring thing, but I know it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
So I have to go for months wondering if you're still alive. It's not fun, Remi. But I am glad to see you, and Amel is just going, Corey, take a breath. Go make sure we've got everything for the morning lunch, okay? And turns around to Remi as Corey sort of pads off, gripping a handkerchief and just going, you knew this was going to be a thing, Remi.
Well, I didn't know Tritharian was going to call me.
I know, and I don't worry any less than your mother. I just show it a lot differently. We've always tried to respect your choices, but that doesn't mean that we're any more comfortable with the idea of you being out there with... And okay, maybe it's a little bit better given that you've got the one of the Dawn Fathers chosen on your side. That's something.
Exactly.
And it actually squints at Froseth for a moment. Okay, no, because for a minute I was thinking that you might be with Bahamut, but no, I guess not. Wrong shade. I've never seen that shade before. You're...
I can, at the moment, say it's one of a kind.
No. And I haven't seen it recently, but I heard tell from Cooper down the block that we did have a silver coming in for eggs.
when?
What?
About a month ago?
Wait.
Came in from
What?
Came in from the north. Way from the north.
A month ago.
About
A
that.
month ago.
About that, yeah.
Do you, by any chance, know where they went after they
Name.
got the eggs?
Probably home. I didn't really pay any attention. I gather they're from I gather they're from Demille or someplace. Aeonbuck, way the really northern. You guys aren't from here, right? Okay, yes.
No,
No. I don't know how much you know about the local geography, but there's a country way to the north, very very cold. Very few people actually travel there, but because it's hard to get to. It's not impossible, but it's hard. They've got the biggest library though, so sometimes
Oh,
people make
Silver Vault.
and it's gonna it's gonna ting for you when you hear this one say Silver Vault.
Oh, sweet Paylor.
There are others?
Did I just say something? Well, I mean, obviously I said something, but Remi,
Froseth, you might
You
need to
okay?
explain.
Yeah, I don't know.
no.
It's gonna look different for Froseth.
do I need?
He's like just
Oh,
doesn't know how to react at the like
Should I-
statue still like
Should I tell them, and if I say something wrong, you like slap me on the shin or something?
Just hold up.
Seth, are you okay?
I honestly don't know at the moment.
do you
Nothing bad.
Do you want a cinnamon bun?
That sounds wonderful.
Nothing-
Hands first at the cinnamon bun. Holds up the other hand to Darvin, going, "Give him a minute with the bun.
Right.
We've had excitable before."
Right. Well, so nothing bad was said. This was just a bit of a shock. That's all.
Okay then.
I am pulling out one of the the
he
green.
takes a couple pieces pulled off and basic. Yeah, I was actually given the impression my people were wiped out. I was left at a monastery.
Hang on. Corey, yeah, you remember date night about 3 weeks ago? Oh yeah. Didn't we have that one dragonborn, the bronze, talking about? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm remembering this right. Turns around to Froseth. Yeah, we heard that there was an enclave up around Cragveer over to the west that got wiped out, but I guess maybe like Corey. She comes back out again, just a little red around the eyes, but having settled a bit. I don't know how much you know about the governors of the various provinces and such around here, but there's sometimes a suggestion that not all of them are human. I mean, you've probably heard Agref. There's rumors that their governor might be an archfey or something. We honestly don't know. Viev alleged. We don't know if this is what she is or what she chooses to look like. There's some funny things in this world, but one individual from the university was saying that because she always hosts her guests, everyone who comes there, the few people that do, apparently are guested in her manor. And they say, some people, not all of them, some say that she's a very pale woman with very pale hair. Others say that she's a silver dragonborn, so we don't really know what to make of it. She could be something else, shape-shifting. We don't know.
Still.
And they're too far away to... But you're and Amel is going, well, you're adventuresome types. And Corey swats him with her slightly soggy handkerchief. You're not going to suggest to our daughter that she make that trip. She came out of the southern lands. Come on. But the big big things that want to eat faces. I love my Remy's face. I don't want it eaten.
We don't either.
Yeah,
I'll be sure
neither
to
do I.
I'll be sure to shove fire down the throat of anything that tries to eat your daughter.
Besides, for the immediate moment, we have business in the city.
Mhm. Yep.
Probably for at least another day or two. Maybe more. So, nothing to worry about. For now.
Are you going to invite your little friends to dinner sometime before you go?
Yeah, we can probably fit that in.
And it's just this face lights up. I know.
It would be a delight and an honor.
We don't have we are not the most affluent bunch in the world, and we don't set a particularly fancy table, but we never let
That's
Remy
why we went to the inn first.
we certainly Remy grew up healthy enough, so we must have been doing something right. Short, but
Solid.
then her Aunt Helen. Her Aunt Helen was like that.
That explains it.
We're actually a little bit convinced that there's some dwarven blood in there somewhere, but we're really not entirely sure. Particularly when Remy ran out and bugged every dwarven merchant and smith in the immediate area to be taught the basics of dwarven, mostly the swear words.
Those are generally the easiest to pick
that
up.
sounds like Remy.
It
Yeah.
come in handy.
That sounds accurate.
I basically learned the same way.
That must have been an interesting monastery, Froseth.
Well, and ML goes, no, it was probably a really boring monastery, and that's why he was hanging around with the interesting people who came from the outside world.
Yeah, point taken.
That's our Remy. She got bored, and it was dwarven swear words and hitting things with a stick until somebody who actually knew how to swing a sword decided to show her how to do it properly.
Yeah, Remy board just seems like a recipe for a lot of dangerous things. I know that feeling very well.
No,
Yeah.
when she came back,
Yeah, I was about to
when
say.
she came back from her first campaign, she was a little more seasoned, shall we say? She learns fast, our Remy.
Yeah.
We are very proud of her, but we are not ready to lose her yet.
You're not going to.
If we have anything to say about it, you will not.
He is awesome paladin, and anyone who stays at Hearthhome ever is family, and I protect family.
I may be a mere journeyman at this point, but I have a knack for tipping the fates in our direction.
Yes,
And I will, and at every turn.
we heard about that. That's why there's at least 2 taverns you're not allowed in anymore. At least when there's a card game happening.
Sigwald!
We love you, Sigwald.
You've got Corey actually walking in a circle around Remy, poking at.
That's
her
just
sword.
school policy. They don't allow diviner students into in card games. Period. I'm not a cheater.
Then clearly someone has been framing you, is Amel's comment. At which point, Corey sort of takes Remy by the shoulders and going, I now have to ask, I've been looking at the armor and the sword and the sword and the hammer and those things, and what exactly did you do to be able to afford this? Not that we're not happy that you have it, because we couldn't send you out with the best that we wanted to. We're still sorry about that, by the way.
It's okay. We made a friend who's a steel singer.
We met.
Uh-huh.
Well, Jenna.
Yeah.
Jenna Del.
Mhm. That's all I'm saying.
She's still alive?
She's where I come from. She's the town blacksmith.
Oh. I feel a little better. You might want to you might want to tell them over at the Steel Singer's return. Um, just
That she won't be.
oh, will she really not?
Good
Maybe
point.
we should let her decide who
Yeah,
she wants
Sorry,
to tell.
I misspoke.
All right, but I mean, people have been wondering for years, Remi. You can't really blame us for thinking, maybe at least knowing that there's still a possibility, because we don't even know if there's going to be a next Steel Singer. They don't come along very often,
She's doing what she's doing.
I wonder if she has the same kind of random thing. The mom said something about getting asked for tenure at the university place constantly.
Well, no, sweetie, no. It's she vanished one day. That was all. She
Oh,
when the quick flight diminutives broke up and Twila and Rand retired, stayed for a little while, opened up what's now the Steel Singer's return, stayed for a while, but then just left. We didn't know where.
Yeah, come to think of it, we never asked. I don't think. Well, it's not really our business, but anyway, yes, she's okay. Let's leave it at that.
Well, yes, it doesn't answer the myriad of questions that most of the mercenary community have about her, but
We don't have answers.
We'll let Remi deal with that, because she's the mercenary of the family.
Exactly.
They still don't look 100% pleased about that. Amel, meanwhile, has been dropping a variety of cookies. They clearly the day olds they have to get rid of anyway, into this reasonable sized sack, and then just sort of opens it up and gestures from Flitty to the bag. All yours. And it looks up with shiny eyes. Flies circle around his head, lands just long enough to give him a nuzzle, and then poof into the bag. I really like him!
I'm just gonna
He
hold the bag.
really likes you.
You have made a friend for life.
Or
at least until the bag is empty.
Do any of you want anything before we sort anything out? So.
I mean,
can I? Are there more of those cinnamon?
Yeah, I was about to ask, actually. Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself, because the one you did first said looked really nice.
Corey brings out the tray, and just looks incredibly happy to just be able to serve snacks to Remi's friends. It's pretty clear that half the awkwardness is just Remi does not know quite how to deal with this much protective parent.
Is there are there like croissants or anything? Just like...
We don't usually go
What
for anything
do they
quite
serve?
that frou-frou.
Well, what are my options?
Well, the options are, for sweets it tends to be more of they go more for the solid, practical kinds of, not the flaky pastries, but like, cinnamon buns, cookies, muffins,
Pound cakes.
Yeah.
All glory to cake pans.
I'll have a muffin.
What flavor? And gestures to the leftover. There's like, chocolate and blueberry and various other different.
Ooh, blueberry.
Lemon poppy seed. Do you have one of those?
That's they look at you and like This is rich boy.
Blueberry.
I think the university did something to his head.
I should hope so. I mean, that's what he paid him for.
They filled it full. They filled it full of so much magic that he's forgotten how normal people live.
Seeing into the
Possibly.
fates will tend to do that to you.
Wow, Remi, you have found an interesting specimen here. I'm sorry. I just wonder at what point you started disappearing up your own butt.
I am okay.
He's
I have-
all right.
Hmm.
for a
I have very
wizard.
carefully set the cinnamon bun on the counter and am now holding on to the counter for dear life because I can't breathe.
Hmm. Hmm. There's a retort to that.
Heretofore not seen on human flesh.
I cannot think of one.
Laughing.
It's probably for the best that I don't have a comeback to that.
Yes, it is.
I can't breathe.
Yeah. So, look, I know that you're hot shit. Okay, we all know that you're hot shit, but this is simple folk here. We bake things. I'm sure that understanding the fate of the cosmos is really fantastic, and maybe it would be helpful when baking the bread in the morning, but mostly we're just gonna stick with simple.
I tried to breathe buns.
No, he's the one with the head up the butt. You can't be breathing buns because that's his job.
And just as I was about to come out of it, that threw me right back in. Thank you very much.
Starting to see what must be some of Remi's internal monologue coming.
If this goes on much longer, I'm going to have to start making constitution checks for my abs.
Remi, we don't really like the idea of encouraging some of the more dangerous stuff you do, but can you give him a little bit of education in, like, the real world?
Side note, out of
He's
character, the only
okay.
reason
Don't
I was
worry.
throwing out flavors like that is because I can't see what's available.
No, I know. We're not doing it because of that. We're doing it because we have a very straightforward, slightly grumpy,
Right.
very simple, not country guy, but
Alright.
basically you've got a city guy who's trying to be hospitable, and he's getting the sort of, you know, the fates line was just too much for him. He was gonna let it go until then.
This is basically the same thing that Darwin's run afoul of with a tavern with Benson at one point at the bar in Golden Bow. So you're basically pulling Darwin, and that's why Darwin's just dying
Yeah,
because he's done exactly this, and it's like, oh my god, I'm not the only one.
seriously. Not every NPC is going to like you, and sometimes
Of
they're
course.
going
All
to
right.
be bitchy about
Sometimes
it.
I'm gonna take
All
the
right.
piss.
All right.
Like me versus the bouncer.
Yeah, there you go.
I just want to buy a muffin. I didn't mean for this to get complicated.
First of all, you're not buying a muffin. Your friend of Remi's with it. I think we can spare a few day-olds that are just gonna go to the local ragamuffin population anyway.
Thank you, Dad.
Muffins for the ragamuffins. I love it. That's brilliant.
Yeah, give us night after tomorrow night. You come for dinner. We'll cook your favorite. We just need to find a goose. We can do that. Not every day. Our prodigal daughter comes home.
No, that won't be necessary. You do you as far as cooking goes. I will enjoy it.
They meant. Wait, what?
Sigwald.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, Remi.
Dad.
I'm sorry, Remi. He's not invited.
Dad.
We know you do you. We are cooking our daughter's favorite, you jackass!
Oh my.
I am taking
Sigwald-
Sigwald and dragging him away.
No! No!
Sigwald, no.
Sigwald just
Sigwald.
puts his hat on and just is the door open?
No.
All right. He just walks out. He's just out. Not a word. He's just out.
He is the one you were bodyguarding, wasn't he?
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm. Well, that could have gone better.
Meantime, Sigwald is walking back to the Brave Boast. What was it called? Is that what it was called?
The Bravo's boast.
He's just heading back to the Bravo's Boast.
You get to actually no Flitty's in cookie coma, so.
Yeah, I'm still holding the bag with Flitty in it.
And weren't you guys gonna stop at the
Mhm.
bow and so he's past the window and gone.
I've.
Oh. All right.
Darwin?
Hazel, go with Sigwald.
Okay.
Look,
Thank
why
you.
Why don't you all go after him? I mean,
Yeah, you go. Let me finish up.
Yeah, we'll go and get him.
Yeah, you do that.
At some point, Sigwald has misty stepped down an alley and is walking on a different street just to break his trail.
Oh, Sigwald.
okay. How do I handle this? Unfortunately, you would have had time enough. So yeah, no, you will have lost him.
Nerds.
Oh well.
No, well, he knows what the Remi's not really get there to
Well,
comment.
Remi's not there, but what you've basically got is he was asking
Gone.
for it.
He knows he knows the city. He'll be fine.
Honestly, I really do not give a shit.
Oh, Dad. Anyways, how's things? How's the neighbors?
Things are fine. The neighbors are fine. To be fair, half the reason that your mother is so stressy is because Sheila, 2 doors down, she keeps hovering like she's trying to ask where, like she's trying to determine when the memorial is going to end up being.
Oh boy.
You know, Sheila,
That's-
doom crier extraordinaire.
That's not very nice of her.
No, but she apparently doesn't have anything more interesting to talk about.
Clearly.
Yeah, every town has one. Every city's got at least 18. Look,
That's a very good point.
We'll see you in a couple of days for dinner. He can come if
Okay.
he apologizes for being self-centered.
I will wring that out of him.
Go catch up with him. You're supposed to be bodyguarding him. At which point Corey sort of flings herself again, completely heedless of the of the armor, and somehow manages not to bruise or concuss herself. It's the cloak.
Oh no, awkward parent.
Bye, Mom.
Remember, day after tomorrow.
I'll remember.
Yay!
At which point you're probably did we Froseth,
How
Hazel?
lost am I and
Did we
Darwin?
go back after we realized we weren't gonna we lost him, or did we just stand there like a
Well,
3 assholes in a circle?
Well, to be fair, it wasn't very long, the chat with Remi and parents, because
Mhm.
it was clearly getting yet more awkward because Sigwald, and so when Remi comes out, you guys have just about given up trying to figure out where he went, because you all know he can do that misty step crap. So you see Remi sort of come out.
Oh.
Probably looking a little bit awkward and like that was at once better and worse than I expected.
Hey, so yeah, he did that whole walking against the wind crap, or whatever it is. So we lost him.
He
So
knows the
can-
city better than anyone except for you.
Remy's caught up with them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Sigwald, he's been around the city a few times. He knows where he's going, so we're gonna go back to the.
But I don't want him to disappear.
He'll be fine. He's a wizard. He knows the city. You
He knows where we're
don't-
staying.
You all don't know the city.
But on the other hand, you did want to go and check and see if Torin was still at the inn, because he's apparently been waiting for you guys for longer
Yeah,
than he
let's-
said he would, because he said he was going to be there a couple of weeks.
Let's go quickly poke our head in. At least it's getting late, so we probably want to make it quick. But go see the book and bow and dragon and see if Torin is still there, and at least just go, hey, we're here. Can't talk now. Talk tomorrow, since we're going to be here at least after tomorrow night, and apparently the night after is when.
Yeah, you're looking at approximately a week's stay, but
Mhm.
obviously that can be tailored to whatever is going on.
Right. Well, no, that was in character. I was just saying that your parents were
Depending on
wanting
what
us
the
to come
governor
back.
says.
Your parents were wanting us to come back if we
Day
can.
after tomorrow.
Day after
so we
tomorrow, so we're
have
at
to
least
stay
here.
that long.
Yeah. So we can at least let them know that, hey, we're here for about a week at least, a roundabout, and we'll talk like tomorrow night maybe. I mean, you're the one that set up plans, so I mean, is it? Are we still?
Well, you as far as you know, you don't have any dinner plans tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, even if you just eat at the Bravo's
Which we
boast
will.
and come back.
And it's. Mhm. So does that sound good with
Priority
everybody?
is the governor.
Well, yes, but that's during the day, regular business hours.
Well, we'll see what he has to say. And then after that, we'll plan out the rest of the day.
Right. Okay.
Somebody might want to remind or inform Remi of how you guys heard the skinny about the black crab in the first place. She got it direct from personal experience and Tritherian. She has never bothered to ask why you have quite as much in-depth historical on it. And she also doesn't know that Torin was actually looking into other stuff for you.
Yep. I was about to get
Okay.
to the flagging that up.
Just making sure.
Now, Remi, the reason I'm so insistent on this is we have all of this information. Torin's the reason. And we asked Torin to look into a few other things along to base. He said he would be here. He actually said he was only going to be here for a couple of weeks. It's been longer than that, so chances are he has something to tell us. So we need to at least let him know
that's fair.
we're here,
That's fair.
and then we can come back tomorrow night and speak at length.
Okay, then let's.
Yeah.
Where is he staying? Let's go.
That's the book, the book, the bow, and the dragon.
Okay, let's go in that direction.
And the reason I'm saying we don't want to stick around there for very long is yes, Sigwald knows his way around the city, but I just as soon not leave a peeved wizard to his own devices.
Well,
Especially if he's part of our party.
if he
just
was
worried
going
about
to do something foolish, if he was
At which point you
the kind of person inclined to do that, he probably would not have gotten very far in wizarding school. But he'll be fine.
You're telling that to me.
Yes.
At which point you get Flitty sticking head out of the bag. I can go look for him.
Oh, you're awake.
Oh, I'm awake. I've been sniffing and nibbling.
How are the cookies?
But
Good.
I will.
You know, you're one of the main reasons I wanted to go there. You know that, right?
then I
Well,
need
you're one of
to.
the main reasons I wanted to go to a bakery. Remy here's the reason I wanted to go to that bakery.
That means I should find the wizard man and apologize. At which point takes off and.
Wait, dude,
Uh,
he doesn't have anything to apologize. Well, okay, Flitty doesn't have anything to apologize for. Specify my he's here.
Flitty knows
Flitty is
where
just
he's going.
Hmm.
well,
Probably easier to
Flitty is
navigate when you're flying.
yeah, Flitty is tracking and Sigwald, even with Misty Step, he hasn't got that far. It's just he's not on the beaten track. So eventually he feels he's probably past the market district and past the open air market and heading in sort of that general direction when he feels weight on his hat. Poof.
Hi.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry that I wanted cookies and I can go away if you want.
No, it's okay. I probably need someone to talk to anyway. Keep me from going off, from completely turning into a fucking corrupt, deranged wizard. It's probably for the best that I have someone to talk to keep me from going crazy. I have been feeling utterly useless lately. I can't tell who's talking to who. I can't tell why they're saying what they're saying. I can't tell what to say and when not to say it. I can't tell. I can't tell where the what the winds of fate are trying to tell me. I don't know why the villain decided to pick me in particular when I'm so clueless. I am the butt of every joke at the academy. All I'm good for is spitting fire. Give the team a blunderbuss. They'll have something even better than me. That's all.
Excuse me, Mr. Wizard Man. First, take a deep breath. And second, you're not... Okay, actually, I'm gonna try this a different way. You are sometimes a silly man, but you are not the only silly man. And, okay, the singy man, he made all kinds of the same mistakes. He made the innkeeper man at...
Just leave it.
He made the innkeeper man at Goldendale, Benson. He made him real angry. Ignore people angry. Not take money angry and not give food angry. And he's lied real bad. And he said wrong things. And he's learning. But you were saying about Learny God. Right?
So, I guess. I don't know what the villain is. Supposedly the villain's god of knowledge, but
Well,
there's so little about him, her, them.
her. It's definitely her. That's a girly name. But, 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 you see, sometimes I think Mommy Lady says that sometimes it's not following a god's not about what you already have. It's they pick you because you have the potential and you need to learn the thing. The Hitty lady, Remi lady, she wasn't vengeful lady. She was hit when things needed hitting, lady. And 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 now she has to learn that about the justicey hitting and the vengeancey hitting, and she's starting to. And Hazel, Hazel, not brightest anything in the anywhere. and flails a lot and squished me lots, and you wouldn't think that somebody who's all about the healing would be that not careful with people and things so fragile, but she's learning. And sometimes it's not, they don't pick you because you are already good. Why would they do that? They pick and they help because you can be all the thing. You can be all the thing. You just need to know that you're not. Mommy Lady said a thing once.
Hi, Mookie.
Wisdom
Hey,
is not about what you know as much as it is being aware of what you don't know. First step to wisdom is admitting your ignorance and understanding it. Because then you learn that, that first you learn that you have things that you need to learn, and then you figure out what those are, and then you learn them. And it's a process. You're not joke butt. You just say
Aw.
you just say things that sound okay to you because you haven't been exposed to. I used to say wrong things all the time because I lived in a shrine and I didn't I didn't know, and they don't know, and you know city sort of, but you don't. Do you not know friends so well?
friends as in the coterie, or friends as
I
in
mean in general.
general?
I mean the ones that you can say anything and make all the mistakes and be all of the silly and they still love you.
I think not.
Well, then that's maybe the first thing that you need to learn.
How to have a friend?
How to talk with other people, remembering that they have the same kinds of things going through their head that you have going through yours. Like the Bakey man. He was saying that he wanted to do this thing, and I know that you were trying to make him feel better, that you had that tone in your voice for that. But he was trying to, I don't think he sees his little girl. It'd be like when we went to see your family. How do you think your mama would have, if your mommy lady had said that come to dinner in a couple of days and we will make this thing, and that thing was your favorite, and then say the singy man said, no, 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 that's fine, I'll eat anything. How do you think your mommy would have taken it? Or your daddy? Well, maybe not your
Anybody-
daddy because your daddy is a bit of a joke, but
Well, I think they were very confused and could not tell who who was talking to whom.
okay, but for some people who, you see, that's the thing. You get confused because you're not used to more than one person talking at a time. I think it's because you have schooling things and lecturing things, and you're not used to lots of groups of people and all talking. And you haven't really had to tick the conversation in your head before you talk. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. And if you're confused, sometimes the best thing to say is not. Am I helping? Or am I talking too
Yes,
much?
Yes, you're helping. This actually helps.
Because they're real worried about you.
I'm worried about me too.
Well, they're not going to let anything happen to you. And as for the other thing, everybody has a bit of stupid. In fact, Healy Lady and Singy Man, they have enough stupid for 3 people their size.
1 second.
At least.
So, people are going to be okay about the stupid. Just sometimes you need to apologize and explain when you got a thing wrong. I know that you have the thing like Estan has the thing, except not so set in stone because you're not so old. He gets things wrong because people don't understand him because he follows Death God. And people don't usually understand or like that very much because they don't understand the whole death being part of life thing. So they look at him funny and he says the thing because he's not used to people talking to him anyway. And certainly he's not used to people being friendly at him. So he acts superior as a defense mechanism. And it makes him seem like a joke butt to everybody.
Oh. Well, I wonder if Amel will listen if I tell him what I misunderstood in that moment.
Well, what he said was that you could come if you say you're sorry. You don't need to explain sometimes. And you see, this is why this is proving that I'm gonna say that there is definitely knowledge goddess lady. And yes, she wants you, and it's very clear that he wants you because you have to learn and teach everything. That is you. That is the inside place of you. Not everybody works that way. Not everybody needs an answer. Not everyone needs to know what you thought to get you to the point of the thing that you need to do. Sometimes the best thing is just to say, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. And leave it there. And what happens, happens. I know that you have the fatey thing. And you want to know what's going to happen all the time. That's not what life is. Not even for you.
That's really good advice, Flitty. Thank you.
And it comes down from the hat, snuggles up around his shoulder, and nuzzles that little hollow neck and ear. So we haven't gone too far past the loud singy place. They're gonna go see the dragon bard, just to say hello. You want to meet them there so they don't think that you're mugged or squished or horse trampled or got so angry that you set yourself on fire? I don't think you'd do that, but I know that Healy Lady would probably do it if she could.
No, I might have lit myself on fire out of frustration. That's, but probably would have stopped once.
Let's
Never
not
mind.
think too much about you being on fire. I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Let's go see them at the Book, Bow and Dragon.
Okay.
Because you say all that, and my friend, if I had been there, my first, I was, hey, look, I thought too hard about feathers one day, and look what happened. Be careful what you think about.
They brought your muffin, by the way.
Okay.
Just writing on the hat. And by the time you get there, you actually see Sigwald looking a little less like steam is coming out of his ears, with Flitty riding atop his hat.
Sorry, I disappeared like that.
I'm going to run up and just sort of offer.
I accept the offer.
And Flitty flies and lands on top of Darvin's head and whispers really quietly in his ear so only he can hear, I helped. Yeah, I'm gonna say Froseth can't lip read a fairy dragon.
No.
But he
Yeah,
definitely-
probably not.
He definitely saw the thank you from Darvin.
And I let go, given a supposedly appropriate amount of time, and just sort of do the whole running in small circles thing.
Now
Welcome back.
Now I did that, I'm gonna go and see the Clarity Lady, just because I know if this is a place with books in. I'm just gonna check and
Yeah.
make sure that she knows that you guys can just leave the door unlocked for her if she's having fun, right?
Yeah.
Did we ever write that note?
Oh, right. Yes, and yeah, I think you must have done.
I think we did at the end when we were eating.
Yeah.
Because
That's what it was. Because we were gonna get Flitty some food.
Yep.
And then.
But we'll
we put the note.
we'll say that the note got written and
Yep.
Flitty is sort of thing. Can the magic man have his muffin?
Oh yeah. Hey, and it. I was already carrying the cookies, so I grabbed the muffin on the way out. So, then there you go, Sigwald.
It is actually a very good muffin. Better than the ones he used to have at the breakfast at the academy.
It is it's very good. It is very soft. Lots of blueberries.
It's exactly what he needs.
And off goes.
He's just quietly eating it.
Yes, but before Flitty takes off, what you can is, please don't leave the place without me, because I want to see. Because look, there's a green me. And yeah, they're on the sign. And
Oh wow, it is.
It's a minimalist sort of a picture, but if you've already met them, you can definitely say that is Twilly. And a very short-haired Miranda, like my hairstyle, Miranda, and Lyra, except without the bandage. It's just that her hair is obscuring her eyes, so all you see is pools of shadow and fringe.
Wow. Just wow. How you doing, Sigwald? Are you all right, man?
By the time I've finished eating the muffin, they almost as right as rain.
Good. I understand. I mean, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed quite as much. Some of that was just what you did. All the misspeaking and saying completely the wrong things. That's exactly what I did to Benson. And I was just being on that side of it. And now this so far after the fact, I can see the humor in what I did. So it was sort of the humor in the situation that was going on in front of me, plus my memories of what happened when I went through it. And it just kind of all compounded. And I shouldn't have laughed quite so much at your expense. I apologize.
Thank you, Darvin.
But for what it's
I
worth,
don't want you to disappear.
Yeah, for what it's worth,
Thank you.
you're not the only one.
And
You're not the only one.
And above all this, just Hazel voice. Just, I don't want you to disappear. I like you. It's like listening to one of the fairy dragons.
Yeah, it really is. What Hazel said.
I need to keep balance. Dear God, what is wrong with me?
So we're here. Let's go see Torin.
As you guys walk in, Torin is. Oh, hang on. Do I? Because I have. No, I haven't put up the map. Give me 1 second. I know we're probably gonna run a little bit over, but honestly, it's usually for Indira that's the biggest problem. So I'm not feeling too bad about it yet. Okay, because I did a map for that one too. I just didn't know if you were going to get that far, so I haven't actually loaded it.
Can you give me 10 seconds?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to take me a second anyway, because it needs to load. one of the great things about this Dungeon Maker Pro thing is that unless you change the name, it actually gives the dimensions. So all I need to do is plug in the dimensions to make it size up from one by one. Oh, come on, load, you son of a... But yeah, while Sigwald is finishing up his muffin, because as the fairy dragon flies is fairly quick, you get you get Flitty landing again atop Sigwald's hat and going. She says, "Thank you for letting her know she has got dinner. She has her own monies, you see, and she's not ready to leave just yet. They have pastries. They have very good pastries. She gave me a nibble of her pastry. They also have cats."
Oh no.
Oh boy, she's
I
yeah.
promised that I would go and pick her up at midnight if she still wasn't back. But there's books and cats and pastries, and she's a happy. And so I'm not ready to make her leave yet. That's pixels. Okay, so 20 by 15. There we go. Up there. Oops. Come on, stop being a
Stop being a joke, but
butt. That's gonna
Bloody
be
roll 20.
that's gonna be a thing. If that gets repeated and Darwin hears joke butt, that's gonna be a thing.
so that's
Just like cake pans became a thing.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because that's you. I mean,
No, actually, in absolute perfect fairness, that was actually originally Xana. It's just that
oh, right.
Hazel never let her forget it.
Ah.
She thought it was so. That's the thing, and it's not like some of you would never let her forget it. It's I think this is so cute. It must be perpetuated. It's
Yep.
Hazel's version of No Moose.
Fair enough. I love that.
No.
Okay, so from once everybody's had a bit of a calm down, you move to the
Holy crap.
Wow.
and dragon.
That is exceedingly shiny.
That is opulent.
Yeah, it's actually actually move it a little bit further to there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the basically you walk in from sort of there. There are more snugs if somebody doesn't want to be listening to the music, but yeah, fancy tables. The smell is good ale, good wine, good whiskey. And the bar in the center there has got like half a dozen people working at it. There's stools all the way along seats. There's clearly meals, but that's all been cleared off. And then at the back is the stage.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
on the stage, wrapping up, is Torin.
Oh, we missed him.
No, you're in the middle of the Ballad of the Quick Flight Diminutives. Of course he's playing in a place like this. Oh my god, and he rolled a natural 20.
He has never rolled anything lower than that for a
No,
performance.
he rolled an 18 at one point.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh
point,
wow, 18.
and that's not including his modifiers, which are kind of insane. Anyway, point being that you guys come in halfway through this, and Darwin is the first one to notice that, no, the song should have closed by then, but we're still leading up to a next verse. Next verse is their story is not over. They have inspired the next generation. not mercenaries, but something more. And it speaks of Hazel. And it speaks of Darwin and Froseth. And actually gets Sigwald and Remi. There have been stories already. They have braved the coast. They have braved the Underdark. And now they brave the future. Whatever it may be. And with a flourish, fairy fire over you all. And
Ooh.
everybody
boy.
looks.
Hey.
And they
Sigwald doesn't acknowledge anyone. He just kind of tips his hat down over his eyes.
he drops the fairy fire after a second, but various people raise their mugs, not in a cheer or anything, but just a little tip salute.
Like, hello.
Yeah, pretty much. Some of the others
Very
look at them
bemused, just-
assessingly.
Oh boy.
There is applause, and you can see why Sigwald was very. You shouldn't throw money at people, because you don't do that here. Instead, you've got. I mean, there's actually boxes on the bar where you can tip your you can tip your bard of the hour, and clearly they leave them for the length of a couple of drinks to let people throw in their bits, and the people behind the bar chuck in the base fee into one of them. And he steps over to the sort of the door to this snug in the far corner and gives you a wave.
And I nod and I start walking over.
Yep.
Beeline.
I follow.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
gonna follow.
And I turn to Remi and Sigwald, obviously Torin.
Well, they've met him.
Oh, they have?
Well,
I didn't remember if they had.
Sigwald certainly met him.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Remi's seen him perform.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't know if they were familiar with him already or not.
No,
I couldn't remember.
Sigwald
I s-
found you and knew your names because.
Because
Oh, right. Sorry, it's been a minute. I
Yeah, I
completely
know.
forgot about that detail. Thank you. Sorry.
Point is, you look like people who don't have a lot of time, but I think you probably at least got enough time for a quick glass of wine, and I did notice that you'd all found each other. Good.
Yep.
Yes.
How are you getting along?
Occasionally tumultuous, but we're finding
I
our,
like 'em.
our level.
It seems that you already knew that.
I have my sources. Of course, it doesn't hurt that I happen to. The first thing I happen to have heard was an amber-skinned tiefling with blue hair having a wonderful time in the kind of establishment in which you would expect to see her. I thought that when you guys arrived, the first place she'd go was the Leaf and Legend. He is pouring wine for you guys. Just a quick half glass for just to sit a minute. It took a little longer than I expected.
Yeah, there were some hijinks.
Hijinks, huh? Well, I definitely heard what happened to Star Coast.
Yeah, that didn't go the way we intended, unfortunately. We did the
Yeah.
best we could at the time. We didn't have as much information as we needed,
And
but
you
at the
didn't,
very least, we stopped it.
and you didn't have something you went to great lengths
Mhm.
to obtain.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is a loose end we will tie up eventually.
Yes, I'm gonna want to hear about that, but I recognize you don't quite have the time. But I'm glad that you've all found each other proper.
Yeah,
I-
the road here was interesting.
Short.
More weird stuff happened to Darvin.
Cockatrice.
Uh,
Was it 10 of them, if I recall correctly?
Yeah.
Yep.
I also heard something about the man you were traveling with was saying something about giant hitting rock.
It
Ah,
Earth
tried to
Elemental.
squish
Yes.
Froseth.
yeah, Earth Elemental.
You just
What?
have all the fun, don't you?
Rather single-minded.
You were smacking
Bit
it, just
too much.
turns and
What did you think of the train?
That was pretty spectacular, yes.
I like trains.
Wonderful view.
Once you get out from the
Blurry, but yes.
once you get out from the cliffside, it's nice. Admittedly, better view, but slower from airships.
Also, the city's huge.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest in the country, but
Yeah. I'm
That
sure
graph
what to
for
make of that.
however little we were there was pretty crazy.
well, I can see the adventurer side of you is going to be wanting to be everywhere, but the people on mission side of you are definitely going to be fairly focused. So basically, I just wanted to give you guys a quick drink, hello, and while I am dying of curiosity, I am very much aware that you have been traveling for quite some time, and you probably want to avail yourself of various relaxation facilities, or at least a bed.
Sleep is good. So, yes. But we wanted to
Yes.
at least touch base, say, yes, we are here. Yes, we are alive. Yes, we found each other. And talk possibly tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I've extended my stay here
Mhm.
for a little while longer. I didn't know when or even if you were going to turn up. I was going to give you another 2 weeks, so I think I can
Thank you.
give you another 2 weeks. And
Thank
you.
all it means is that I can't follow any of the further leads that I have because I didn't want to miss you. But
Right.
at least you know I have other leads, and yes, I do have some information that you may have to follow up on yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry, from what I've been given to understand, first of all, you probably want to be a little bit more careful about what you say around whom, because I get the impression that you have, you want to be meeting with the governor? Well,
Which we don't really need to advertise.
yes, which I
Yeah,
don't-
we kind of already did.
That's the thing. See, I'd already heard about it, but you are incredibly lucky that you were that stupid. Pulls out a piece of parchment and hands it to Darvin. You have an appointment at about 10:30. Otherwise, you would have waited a month. He's a busy governor.
Wow. Okay.
It's fair.
How? What? Wait, I'm
I-
confused. How did this just happen?
Just
go
don't
with
question.
Let
Yeah.
me-
Just don't.
no.
question.
We're
Hand of the gods.
and
Or our
Torrin
here.
turns around to you. Turns around to Remi and you little shit.
What?
Hand of the gods, my ass.
Broadly speaking, I don't know what you do besides sing.
You've been hanging out with me how long? And you don't know but parts. Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Taylor's Grace, you just
Hey,
stepped
Sigwald.
in it, Remi.
Hey, Sigwald, check it. We're not the only ones.
It is comforting.
We're on a Plus, these things go smoothly for a reason, broadly speaking.
Remi.
Fine.
Stop.
If I didn't recognize some of the bits on that armor, you would be zapped so hard right now. Thinks about it for a minute. Points to Darvin. You. Grabs him. Come with me.
Okay.
And we've just lost the bard.
At least the bard is going off with a bard, so you know.
Yeah, see, it actually pulls Darvin to a little spot behind the stage. Okay. I'm gonna explain this to you because I have to look at her after that. I get it. She's a paladin. It's all the hands of the gods. Yeah, maybe it is, but it's probably not the one she thinks.
Uh-oh.
I have an in with the governor for some very specific reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I have leveraged that for you. There's going to be some things probably in that meeting, one way or another, that are going to get weird.
Okay.
Discretion is going to have to be the watchword for all of them. And guess what? From we're not the only ones, you're going to have to be in charge of making sure it stays that way. Otherwise, I am in shit, you're in shit, and nobody gets the help they need. So
Understood.
We'll talk about how it went tomorrow. I'll let you finish your wine. I'm gonna go find someplace that I need a few minutes before I have to look at her because, you know, human gods are fine and all, but not really where my heart goes. Thank you very much. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
And I beeline
hey.
straight.
Before our chat, how does a 6 till 7 slot on the stage suit you?
Sure.
Little extra spending money never hurts. And up the
Yep.
stairs he goes. So as he beelines back to you guys.
Okay. Long story short, too late. We do have it. We have an appointment, and basically anything that is said, anything and everything said at that appointment, doesn't leave us.
Okay.
What do you mean doesn't leave us?
As he put it, discretion is the word is the yeah.
Oh,
So
of course.
presume that anything we say, everyone will know. Think of it like that.
No, basically just don't say anything to anybody outside that meeting.
And to be fair,
Yeah.
the other implication
the opposite.
was if that kind of slip happens,
We're all screwed.
Yeah, Sigwald was right. If any of us say anything, everyone's gonna find out, and we can't let anyone find out.
Well, basically, my understanding is, if anything said in that meeting slips out from any of us, everybody in trouble, including Torin, and I will not have that happen.
No.
Okay.
He's put himself on the line to get us this appointment. He's
All right.
he's leveraged. He's leveraged and gotten us. He's gotten us this appointment.
All right. I am very tired and very dim right now, so knowing me,
We'll get some good. You'll get some good sleep and be okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna find you some coffee for tomorrow. Somehow.
Remi does know
I
that
don't-
coffee is a staple at
Yeah, It's a-
breakfast at the Bravo's Post.
yeah. Considering the nature of the place that we're staying, I think
I
coffee
don't know
is
if
going to be
coffee
in the
would do,
offing.
I don't know if coffee would do me anything good. It makes me
Well, not right now.
jittery, but not any smarter.
Okay. We'll do something. We'll
We'll
do
buy you a potion of intelligence at the bazaar or something, okay?
Oh
Or
my
would
god,
I
we are
should-
there. We
or would wisdom be more appropriate in this
Garvin,
scenario?
that
I
was
don't know.
awful. That was awful. But
Out of
I
character,
think
that's
we
some
all need that.
that's metagame knowledge. Knowing
Would it
about
be?
No,
knowing about
No,
attributes.
well, no, not necessarily, because I potions of the way he was saying it was more. It wasn't to do with your stats. All he knows
Right.
is that intelligence, a potion of
Means
intelligence,
smart.
would make you smarter, but
Exactly.
there is still a difference. Not just a
Between
stats
the-
difference, but an actual difference between
Between smarts
intelligence
and
and
wise.
wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that's not a metagaming thing. That's
All right.
Because those
the
are those are
the vagueness that of the way he put it is more how we would say it. Where
Okay.
stats are not a thing. Anyway,
Exactly.
we
Okay.
are running
But,
long, and I can
and we're all
see
getting
that
tired.
that Rafi's getting a bit frazzled, and he's had a
Long
bit
day.
of a hard. Well, he had a bit of a hard session.
Right.
So, just very
Well, no
quickly
rope,
before we call it,
Mhm.
you finish your wine, you head back, and you collapse. Um, we will tune in 2 weeks' time, where maybe actually the shiny new stats upgrade from our first level 5 will actually come in handy. And I'll see you all
Yay,
in 2
Hazel!
weeks.